Okay, let's look at how we can provide some authentication for a user. To dummy it down, that would mean we want to give a login page for a user. So let's just start a new application, very simple application. So we will say it's a web application, ASP.NET, and let's call it as here. We have not been paying attention to this area so far. The default is set as no authentication. Let's see what happens. So we have our application, just a simple basic application, right? There is an attribute called as authorize. What this attribute does is anytime you add that attribute, that method is supposed to be protected. So you can set it at the application level, at the controller level, or at the action method level. So let's go with one of the methods. So all I have to say is authorize. My application loaded fine. We added authorize to the contact method. So let's go to home. It's all good. Works the same. Contact. 401 unauthorized access. So basically what happens is it is telling me I don't know who you are, so you are not an authenticated user, so you are not going to be given access to this resource. But the problem here is that the 401 that we get normally is not a very user-friendly screen. So there are ways to actually like make it a little bit more friendly and also define users. Like this application, the way it is, because it has no authentication as the option for the project, using that authorize is not going to help us in any way. So let's go back and look at how we can set authorization. Okay. So we know that there is this verb that we can use, this attribute called authorize. This can be set at the controller level, application level, or at a method level. But unless we are going to use other forms of authentication, this is not going to help us much because all we are getting is an unauthorized access page. The 401 is a typical unauthorized access page. So let's go here, close this guy. I'm going to create another project. Web. So I'm going to call it as web application. I want individual user accounts. And if you see the description here, it says for applications that store user profiles in a SQL Server database, users can register or sign in using their existing account for Facebook, Twitter, Google, Microsoft, or other provider. So much much better option. So there are two methods here, and we will be seeing each of them using a different project. Okay, let's see what did that option do for us, selecting that option. Let's run the application. Okay, so if you pay attention to what's on this side of the screen, you can see I have two new links. Register and login. I didn't write this code, right? I did not do anything to code for register or login. So let's see how that happened. If you go to the controller, you can see there is something called as an account controller and a manage controller. If you go to the model, there is an account view, identity model, and manage view model. If you go into views, there is an account folder with a whole bunch of data. All this got created for us automatically when we chose the individual user account as the authentication type. So this is part of ASP.NET MVC, and ASP.NET MVC actually uses a component. Basically, that is what this OWIN is all about. If you see here, OWIN. So that is the component that is making all this magic happen. So it is a component that you can install using like the NuGet package, and that is what is making all of this happen for us. So basically, what is happening here is a controller automatically gets created for us. The views are automatically there for us. This is for the entire management. Register a user, to change the password, to do all kinds of add an email address, validate the email address, all of that basic functionality for adding a user is all part of that. So, so let us go and actually try and add a user and see what happens there. So I am in the login screen here, so I want to actually register as a user. Oh, before that, I am not restricted at this point for any of the pages. I just wanted to show you that. Let's go and register. So this validation is happening automatically. Okay, you can see now that I am logged in. Okay, which means I am logged in and authenticated at this point. Because I have not defined any roles at this point, I have full access. So I can go to all the pages. Okay, so let's now try adding the authorized code to a controller.